Hey, and welcome to the Shave Tank. I got a question in the comments of one of my videos from Paul, and he asked me, Shave Tank, even if you have a hard soap, you never seem to bloom the soap. Like, put water on the soap and let it bloom and then ditch the water and load it into the brush. Well, why? Paul, you're absolutely right. I never bloom any soap. And that's actually because of a few things I've learned way before I was wet shaving, because I have studied chemistry before I got into this job and studied something else also. So actually I studied 3 different studies. But yeah, let's get over that. And I studied chemistry and especially biochemistry and organic chemistry. And of course, back then you try to make your own soap and stuff like this. And so I got a little knowledge about the whole soapy stuff. And what I'm thinking, but I may be wrong, so don't quote me on this. Even though I studied this stuff, it has been 20 years ago. So yeah, I may be wrong. But it's my thing and it's my belief. So if you believe otherwise and it works for you, fine. But I'm going to explain you why I think it's not that good. First of all, let me get some hard soap. Like this Kalani soap I have here. It's a hard buck. And why do I not bloom it? Well, one, because I haven't used this in a while and it still smells awesome. Kalani soap have a really strong smell. And loading this even with a semi-wet brush works fine for me, and I like to add water over time. I don't like to make a big mess in my buck here and then have it all wet. But the main reason actually is that most perfume or oils or etheric oils that give the smell to a soap can be sucked out of the soap with moisture or water. And the same goes for some of the, you would say, cosmetic ingredients that give you a soft skin and stuff like that. So wetting this up a whole lot and then leaving it wet in the buck, in my opinion, is not such a good idea, because the scent will react with the moisture that is kept in the buck and this cosmetic products and will dissipate over time. So over time the buck will smell less. And actually what I'm doing is, even if I don't bloom it like I never do, and I have loaded the brush and everything, I leave the buck open for the soap to really dry out, because in my experience and in my opinion, it conserves the smell and cosmetic ingredients in the buck better if it's totally dry and then you put it back. So there is nothing wrong with storing your soap in like this paper container, like they do it from Saponificio Varesino. And of course paper will breathe a little bit and it will smell even through the paper. Awesome smell. And that's no problem. The smell actually will not dissipate this way. The smell will dissipate if it's very, very moist. So if you have this in a very moist environment in this paper, then of course that's not so good. But if you keep it in a dry place, like I keep it in this bathroom locker, and my house is quite dry anyways, so that's actually no problem. And the smell will keep smelling even a year or 2 years after you've bought the soap. I have had soaps go bad on me only if they were really wet and really stored in a wet close wet and environment. Like if I fill this buck up and ditch the water and load the brush, close it up and store it this way, then there will be a reaction environment in there. If it gets warm, especially if you keep it in the bathroom and you are one of the guys that have a girl at home that likes to put the heater on in the bathroom, have a really hot bathroom, the really hot shower, really moist environment, I think that's not a good idea. Not at all. But as always with wet shaving, your mileage may vary. This is my opinion, and I think blooming doesn't do anything. If you're good at loading your brush, blooming is absolutely not necessary. And if a soap doesn't work for me, if I hard soap and I can't load it into the brush and don't get a lather, then actually for me it's not a good soap. Doesn't work for me. Again, my opinion. I might get flames or controversy for this one, but yeah, that's my opinion and my experience and what I have kept in my head from how soap works on a chemistry level. So yeah, I may be totally wrong, and maybe one of you is a chemical engineer or something that has some new science that proves me wrong. I don't know, but it works for me. And even like the one Kalani soap I showed you, I think I have this for a year or something, it still smells awesome. And I always do it the same. Load the buck with a semi-wet brush, keep it open for the next 24 hours, like next time I shave, close it up, put it away. Works perfectly for me. Yes, that's my 2 cents about blooming and wet soaps. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Let's all high five and see you soon.